and I think it's safe to say, because I didn't find my niche until like 35. I really like the passion of financial literacy. And then that starts, and now you have to cultivate it until you get to the point where you can, thrive off of it. So it's like now with our generation or our kids coming up, we get to expose them to the possibilities and let them know that you can literally be anything you want to be. I mean, anything. Because I used to think that was...
That's on everything. That's on everything. If you want the latest news and the greatest views, tune into the Central Podcast, the one of my favorite crews, because they're entrepreneurs who grew up together. Now they created this show to make the community better. Speaking on being leaders, strong husbands and fathers, role models for our sons and our daughters, to business ownership. Like forget a building, you could own the strip. The squad holding it down as Jay Norris with C. Nicks, he rather B. Hicks. So what y'all wanna hear about? Like Hail Marys, they gonna air it out. So kick back and listen, they gonna set it, man. You're gonna be enlightened, and that's on everything. That's on everything. That's on everything. They are here to heal the people like Dr. Sebi, man. That's on everything. They celebrate success, so raise a toast with them and watch the confetti rain. That's on everything. 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 That's on everything.
All right. So I think we have some good selections on that. And while we talking about Will Smith and the Fresh Prince as an iconic show, I think we all watched it. They're doing a reboot, and it's going to be called Bel Air, and it's a dramatic interpretation of the Fresh Prince. Has anybody seen the snippets or the trailer for it?
Yeah, I seen the trailer for it. I'm actually looking forward to it. I mean, it looks like it's going to be good, because it's not. Because I hate it when you try to do like the same exact thing per se. Yeah. So I appreciate them taking this a comedy essentially and turning it into a drama and kind of reliving that life. Because now that it's a drama, we get to really kind of see more or a different aspect, of Will's life, if you will. Mm-hmm. Especially on the heels of him coming out with the book. Because if you read listen to the book, it's you learn so much more about him than you ever did, even though he was always in the limelight.
So who's in the show? Expound on the book. I'm sorry, go ahead.
The show,
I don't know.
And the original cast members coming back?
No. I haven't seen any of the original cast. No.
You stupid.
What happened?
Carlton can't come.
No, and it's crazy. They got this. The guy that's playing Carlton is this guy that looks like an African character, if you will. So it's like I said, I'm gonna have to send out if I pull it up on social media on IG or pull it up on YouTube, I'll send out the link. But yeah, I mean, when you see it, it's almost like it's not even a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It just looks like a really good movie that just happens to mimic the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I'm looking forward to it, because when you see the cast, you like. I mean, the guy that's playing Will, I mean, I think they did a great job with that. Spot on. But even just the choice of characters for Uncle Phil, Viv, Carlton, Hillary, Ashley, Jeffrey, I think they did a good
Jay Banks.
Yeah, I think they did a good job of just kind of contrasting those characters, but also making it so unique.
I can't wait to see that. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It was like, what's her name? Karuchi, or the girl that used to date Chris Brown. She signed on for it. But I think for the most part, everybody else is like a newcomer or a new face.
Correct.
Which is pretty dope. And like Jay was saying, expanding, probably getting a little bit more in depth with the story, a little bit more grittier with the drama. Obviously, there'll probably be some comedy in there, but this is going to be dope. I was hoping, low key, that Will was going to be involved. Because, remember how it ended?
We didn't really walk off the set, right?
Yeah, everybody moved.
Everybody moved out.
Yeah. Did he marry Lisa? I don't remember what happened with that. So I was hoping
Lisa.
It would have tied the knot there a little bit, but I think it's going to be a whole different interpretation. But what is cool, Uncle Phil, going into the characters, digging a little bit deeper, And Jay, I don't know if you know, but Uncle Phil, they're gonna show that he's an alpha. Like he's got the paraphernalia on.
Yeah, so I saw the alphas in there, I saw the alphas in there stepping on the preview on the college campus.
Dope.
So it's gonna be just bringing it to the whole
full black experience.
Oh man, and I think with the stage that Will is at right now, like because Will can do anything that he wants. Like it don't even. I mean, from the Hollywood standpoint, he can do whatever he wants. So he can cast whoever he wants. He can pay for anything he wants. So I think him, being in charge of this and taking the direction that he's taking, I think it's just phenomenal.
Word up. Hey, you mentioned the book. I wanted to talk about that real quick because I finally downloaded it, I think last week. And I got an alert today on my phone. It was telling me you got 12 hours left. I'm like, I'm working on it, baby. I'm working on it. But the book is phenomenal. I've gotten through a couple chapters. Great. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but just with Will narrating his own story and then him giving you things personal stories. Like in the beginning, like I haven't gotten to where he is now. He's still talking about like his dad, which they call Daddy-O.
Daddy-O. Oh yeah.
And talking about dad, and Daddy-O was an OG. Let me just tell you that.
What chapter you in?
I think 5.
Oh, yeah, you farther than me. I'm on chapter 3, and it's so vivid. Like so telling the stories of his childhood. Like wow.
Yeah. So I finished it, right, and my wife just finished it. And usually, because we do a lot of audiobooks, and usually when something pop up and it's 16 hours, I'm like. Because most of my stuff, which most of us is going to be like self-help, stuff about money, stocks. I'm really not doing a lot of fiction or things of that nature. It's always going to be some type of self-help. So usually you can't do a 16-hour self-help book because it's really only like 2 or 3 nuggets that you're going to take from it. And the rest of it is kind of just fluff. Like, just tell me what I need to do. Oh, I need to wake up earlier. Okay, that's what I'm going to do then. So it's like it's only a couple of nuggets in a whole book that's about one topic. But with this, it's like I was mad that I was getting closer to the end because it was just that good. Even like you said, the way that the first chapter starts off, it's just like, bruh, he came through with the heat, and then from there, because he goes into everything, and y'all haven't gotten to, when he start talking about him and Jada and their relationship. And it's just like, bruh.
Right. You
talk about open book.
Yeah, I was just so, like you said, open book. I was so shocked that he was so candid about his teenage years and some of his explorations there. And one of the stories is like, I had to rewind it and like, did Will Smith just say what I thought he said? Bruh. So to hear him unpack that, and then he's like, I'm at the point now where he's really talking about, the inception of DJ Jazzy at the time, and talking about hip hop, and that's just so beautiful to hear because I'm a music kid, so to hear him tell the story about the birth and the importance of the DJ, and how he started honing his skills, writing his rhymes down, and he's saying it with mad confidence, like I was the best MC in Philly, period. Like I don't know who was out at the time, but he's like letting it be known, and he's still calling Jazzy Jeff the greatest DJ of all time. Like that doesn't change. So for him to say that, very powerful. And I don't know how everybody's feel about Will. Will's one of my favorite rappers. He's not like on my Rushmore, one of my favorite rappers. Like I say that because like when CJ and Kylie were younger, it's safe, right? This was like the perfect introduction for rap for them. So they know all like Switch. Y'all probably don't even remember that Switch.
Oh yeah, I know Switch.
Kids used to get crunk to that boy. Just the two of us. Like I play that today with Jace. Like that's our jam right there.
Yeah.
And then he came out with the Disney boy being Genie. And he did.
Before that,
I Got a Friend Like Me.
Love that movie. Yeah.
But even before that, remember he came out. He was in that fish movie.
Or something.
Yeah,
Shark Tales.
Shark
Tale.
Yep, that's when my kids got introduced to him because they were the track. I mean, he dang near wrote the whole soundtrack, and it was safe. You know what I mean?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good rap. Like he don't get enough credit because he didn't curse. He wasn't gangster. And you listen, Jay read the book, heard the book. that just wasn't his background. He talks about that, you know, the split and the contrast there. With his father having his own business, being successful, and then, you know, going to a Catholic school, a private school, but still, you know, trying to find his place in the world. But man, his rap skills lyrically, you know, obviously he called it redundant, a little bit elementary, but I feel like all that is to be respected. In that time, Will was cold. So
yeah,
no,
I respect him. I was gonna say I just respect him as an entertainer overall. I mean,
true.
What he gave to the entertainment world over his career you can't take none of that away, man. That dude been on top of his game since we were kids.
He was 17.
Since the category came on the board, he won the first hip hop Grammy.
Like he has been wild. Like dude has just been dope.
Nah, and when you get to that, like when he starts to in the book, when he starts to go on his Hollywood run, he's gonna go through the routine of why they were so successful and how he became. Like that was all very intentional. Like he wasn't just dropping great movies because, you know, he was just a great actor. He was so intentional with his team and what they did, and he goes through that whole hookup, and it's just like, wow. Now you see why. Because his thing was he was trying to catch Tom Cruise. Because like Tom Cruise was the guy at the time. It was like him and Tom Cruise. So anything you put Tom Cruise in was like it was it.
It was a hit. It was a hit. Yeah.
It was a hit. So he was like he basically mimicked his work ethic and then just like tripled it. But back to Corey's point when you're talking about Will Smith being one of your favorite rappers, Will Smith is a dope rapper, and it reconfirmed it for me when I heard him on the remix of Will by Joyner Lucas.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I love that song.
I saw the video, and I thought the video was just dope, just to pay homage to my man. And you know, Joyner Lucas ain't no Will Smith type of rapper. Like this dude is, you know, he's a little gangster. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when Will got on the remix, I was
showing you he can still do it. Ooh.
Oh man, he came through. I was like, this is because it's a difference, like to be able to still keep up in this era. Like, so for instance, if you threw like Ice Cube on the track, it's gonna be that same Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There you go. It's gonna be that. But Will came on that track and was like, don't get it twisted.
Yes,
like I can go with the best of y'all. You know what I mean? So yeah, man.
It was a time where Will was making that very vocal when he was still trying to make music, like around that switch and all that. Like he felt like he still had a lot left in the tank, and even talked to Jada about it. And she was like, "Yeah, you got music, put it out." But I think he felt at a time, and I don't know if he discusses this in the book to the point, but he felt at a time, like, you know, hearing Jay-Z and you hear LL Cool J and you ain't say nothing about Will, like. And then, you know, he'll break it down like, bruh, I done gave you the movies, the books. I'm acting. I'm an artist. I got the Grammy. Like, I got DJ Jazzy Jeff. Like, what we doing? Like, I don't get no mention, no love. So I think at the time he was a little bitter about that. But, you know, he's in a different space now. So
correct.
But I mean, he had a right to be. Excuse me. He had a right to be. You know what I mean? Like, think about right now when you wash your car and it's sunny out. You know what I'm saying? You geared up.
Summertime.
Listen to summertime. You know the word.
You ain't running from that, boy.
And today was a good day, but it don't put me in that that space that Will Smith Summertime does. You know what I mean?
I think that song is better than It Was a Good Day.
Oh, sure. 100%.
And when you get to that part in the book and he talks about how that song was created, like it's just it's a
dang, I gotta hurry up and read the rest of the book.
You can't hurry up on a 16-hour book though.
I know. Look, and I was reading it at 1.3 times the rate, or listening to it at 1.3 times the rate. And but bruh, it's like I will read that book. I will listen to that book again. It's that good. It's that the whole 16 hours.
I want to get my own hard copy, and if he go on a book tour, I need to be there so he can sign that boy, because even the book cover itself is dope.
It's a piece of art.
Correct.
It's a piece of art.
Does anybody know the artist that did that?
I don't know. I'm sure we can figure it out. But I will tell y'all,
look at the phone.
Audio books. And I listen to a lot of audiobooks too. And the way that he produced that with his, with his skills at telling a story and, even bringing in the musical, elements of it, and I talked about it before, but that Questlove Creative Quest book is right along those same lines and fantastic the way that he produced it. And honestly, Barack Obama telling the story in his Promised Land book is excellent storytelling. And it's a long one too. But you're gripped by the story because we lived through it, and then to get the behind the scenes of it is super dope.
So let me ask y'all this real quick, man. My wife and I, good segue over to Barack Obama. We were younger, and not to get political, but men in the military, you historically are Republican, right? They give you the better raises, they give you the housing allowances, they give you the things that the military need. So when he got elected, I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And then he got reelected. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And then the other day, we were just looking at his speech over the National Mall, and I'm thinking, dang, man, we should have went, right? That's history. We should have been there. We should have, you know what I mean? Almost like the March on Washington, how, you talk to some old school people and they're like, yeah, I was there. We should have been there. Does anyone have that same feeling, or do you regret not going, or have you ever reflect on, man, I should have went? Have you had that thought?
Yeah, I'll go first. I wish I could have been there. I was working, and I'll tell you what happened.
True. Yeah. I ain't thinking. Yeah.
So no, just to give you my story on that day, like I'll never forget that day. It was history. I was so upset that I had to work. And in fact, I had to travel. I had to go to El Paso, and I was doing, some work out in the field. And luckily, I was in a position where I was close to TVs, because this is like, before, Instagram, and you was really on your phone and all that good stuff with YouTube.
Yeah.
So I'm out in the field. I'm at a Walmart at an agent location, and I was supposed to be there to train and do an install. Before I did that, I went straight to the back where the TVs are. And I watched the inauguration. It was crazy because Walmart and the electronics, the whole wall is plastered with. So it was funny because you look up and you got, and I'll just say what it is. You got like 5 or 6 other black people with me looking at the TV, and then you got other people shopping and working and don't give a damn.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, I got to see this. I got to see it live. So I was frozen with anticipation. I wish I could have been there, but I'll never forget that moment. You know what I'm saying? And I made it a point to watch it live.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I do. Obviously, I regret not being able to go in. Honestly, I probably didn't even have the capacity to take a trip and, be out there doing something like that at the time.
True that.
But
like I said, I was at work.
Just being honest. But I'm grateful that during the campaign, I was able to get out to a rally, see him live. It was incredible, man. It was like you were watching history form. And it was like full on. This is when it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that he was going to be the next president. Secret Service checking everybody, and I was working the event, but still got to go in there, and check him out. Absolutely incredible experience, man. Like it was dope. It was dope.
Like you said, I didn't go to the inauguration, but he did come to Jackson State, and did a rally.
The campaign.
Yes, during the campaign, right before I moved to Texas. So the wifey and I both went, attended. It was packed. It was a huge event right there on Jackson State's campus. And it was funny because Bruce, you were talking about Republican and political parties. So I used to manage an account. And Jay probably remember New Deal. There was a guy. The guy that owned it was a grocery store, and he owned one, I think, off of State Street somewhere in Jackson. And he was a very smart guy, great business owner, very conservative, always wore a bow tie and everything. And his wife, they both ran the store together. But I remember we always talk, about business and politics. And he would always give me the game from like the right side, conservative side. But when Barack came, all that changed. And it was funny because they went to the same rally, and we were right. We were talking about it. And his point of view was like, it was history. It was a great event. I never thought I'd see this. And da 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 da. and his wife was just starstruck, like he fine. Yo, it didn't matter political party. That was BO in the house. So BO had that swag too. You know, you gotta forget. For black women, like not only was potentially the first black president, they was like, girl, he fine.
Yeah. And he married?
He got my vote. And he married a sister? Chocolate girl. So it was like when I heard stuff like that
too, though. But that was something for the fellas because I mean Michelle, like you never. I mean,
she royalty, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Bro, like
just
the
regal.
closest you even got to somebody was maybe what's her name, Jackie Kennedy, maybe.
But Michelle, like you said, cut like somebody told us back in J State, I'm cut from a different cloth. Like,
bruh,
Michelle made you look at your partner and be like, you ain't got that Michelle in you. I need Michelle.
No, it was just ideal because, you know, we talk about, you know, being entrepreneurs and the sacrifice, you know, just imagine the sacrifice of being the spouse of someone who's running for president and to still hold your own and be that regal and be that support system. You just like, bruh, like you said, hey, you need to get some more Michelle in you because
she over there like, you need some.
Hold on. That was just so beautiful, and then the two beautiful baby girls. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like ideal. Like, wow, this is just a true reflection of something that we never thought we'd see, and then now it's like it gives you something to aspire to. So it was just a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And that's a lot of what Brock talked about in his book too. Go ahead.
And let you know that, you know, how do I say this? A lot of people, you know, would tell their kids, you can be anything you want to be. You can be anything you want to be. But it was always that except, right? So when it came, you're like, no, you literally can be whatever you want to be now.
Correct.
And that's why I love that moment, because it became true when Barack became president, and then he doubled up on it. It was like, yo, for real, like we were probably all, like you said, we were all told that, but you was like, come on now.
Yeah.
And you would tell your kids that, but then when Barack became president, you was like, no, for real, look. Those days are over.
It changes the game, and I want to go too long because I know we had an hour or so, but like the exposure is, I like to say the exposure is the cheat code. So you think about with us and the exposure that we've had. Like, so if we never would have got exposed to HBCUs, we would have never went to Jackson State. You know what I'm saying? If Bruce never got exposed to somebody flipping houses doing real estate, he probably would have never gotten that lane and Terrell with the restaurant industry and owning his own joint. If I wouldn't have got exposed to, stocks and things of that nature, I would have never gotten investing. So I think the more that we make it visually known that the possibility is there, then it really becomes real. Because like you said, if you grow up and all you see the people that's making money is basketball singers or rappers, which has been a common thread in our community, then that's what you were striving to be. But when you got cats like us, that's being very successful in our own right, then it's just like, okay, there are other options besides, dribbling the ball, throwing the football, rapping on the mic, because everybody ain't gonna be there. I know I definitely ain't have no chances of sports or artistry as far as vocally. You know what I'm saying? So and the crazy thing is, now that there's just so much exposure due to the internet and social media and stuff like that, like you can find your niche early. Like I think with us, like if we had found our niche like early on, Bruce, like if we had found, like we in our 30s, almost 40s, and I think it's safe to say, because I didn't find my niche until like 35. I really like the passion of financial literacy. And that now and then that starts, and now you have to cultivate it until you get to the point where you can, thrive off of it. So it's like now with our generation or our kids coming up, we get to expose them to the possibilities and let them know that you can literally be anything you want to be. I mean, anything. Because I used to think that was a lie. I was like, yeah, that's what you tell people to keep their self-esteem up. You know what I'm saying?
Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, but whatever you want to be.
But why?
And as a parent, having the frame of mind to know to nurture that at an early age in our kids and not suppress it, because you know how it was for us. It was, and I'll tell this story all the time, and she's not like that anymore, but it took my grandma a long time to even acknowledge that I had a real job. She's telling me all the time, like, when you gonna get a real job? Like you just out here still tossing these pizzas. When you gonna get a real job? I always imagine you with some kind of briefcase and a suit. Not, and so it's funny, but it was like she had this vision of what success looked like, right? And she didn't say I need you to be a lawyer, I need you to be a CEO, or she just had a vision of a man in a suit with a briefcase, and that was success for her. Even though I was, even at that time I was, a senior manager and a bus store leader, I was fine, but she didn't. It took her a long time to acknowledge that.
Wow.
That's on everything.
But that's also kind of that was the same thing with my dad, and my dad and your grandma about the same age. You know what I mean? My dad always see me in a uniform, and then once I went ahead and retired out, I'm over at the house, and he said, "Hey boy, you got a job?"
And I think what you doing over here at 2:00?
Everybody at work. You got a job, you be at work. And I'm sure he was also just, soft selling the idea of you can't come back here if you ain't got no job. Right? Ain't no room.
But I think for us too, growing up in Lansing, it was always like a job looked like you had to go to work. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to be at the plant or Myers Warehouse.
Yep.
Or if you want in a facility.
For the state of Michigan.
Correct.
State of Michigan.
That was it.
Then it was like, what do you do? What are you doing?
how do you live? But
it's possible.
But that's what's ingrained in us, because we were so happy to get our first jobs. I mean, my first job was at Fazoli, just passing out breadsticks, and then me and Corey linked up at Hot Now, and it was on and popping. It was like you couldn't tell us nothing. You know what I'm saying? And just to be in that area.
That's probably why the chain shut down, man.
Hey, we were slinging burgers.
Bruh, you couldn't
now my employees go work across the street. I'm pissed. Y'all left it with across the street for 50 more cents. I got it happening to me today, and I'm sick. I'm over there.
Bruh.
I'm leaving bad reviews.
Killing the Yelp.
No, but that was always the mindset. Like you got to get a 9 to 5, you gotta work for somebody else, you gotta move up the ladder, and that's great, because I mean if a lot of people do it and it works, but I'm just saying that, like I said, you need to be exposed to all possibilities, because entrepreneurship was never even uttered. Like I never even heard when people used to say I'm an entrepreneur,
you were trying to understand that word, like what?
How do you spell it? You know what I'm saying? Like, but what is that? Like, okay. Like, so what time you clock in? Like, where you go? Like, nah, I won't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You couldn't even fathom that as a child, because like I said, it just wasn't spoke of. So just kind of to piggyback on, like, when we were talking about the shows and things of that nature, how it was ahead of their time, because you had families that had businesses. And even when you talk about Will's book, like his dad owned his own hookup, you know what I'm saying? And was very successful at expanding it. So it was like, man, like he couldn't. So when you're raised in that mindset, knowing that if I want to work for somebody, that's just an option, but I can also just as easily work for myself. Will already had that instilled in him from the very, very beginning, which was a beautiful thing, because even, and y'all passed that point, but I don't even think in the book at all, he never worked for anybody else. He only worked for his dad, unless he left it out, but he only worked for his dad all the way until, he became a rapper, and then, he went on his way. So he never had a job for anybody else but for his pops.
And that's incredible right there.
Well, yeah, he tapped into his passion early, and he was very committed to it, because he told his mom that he wanted to be a rapper. Like, and he wasn't even going to finish. I think he finished high school, if I'm remembering correctly. But he told her, "I'm not going to college." And she was like, "You can't be a rapper." And he was like, why? Because I don't know what that is. Yeah, you need to get a real job.
Correct. Because
they already had a plan for his life. And he had, other plans.
Well, and what was crazy though, like because and just like Bruce and T-Rail was saying, was like, their grandparents had a idea of what success is.
Exactly.
And of course, we got degrees and what have you, but everybody has their own path. You know what I'm saying? But I think, like T-Rail said, you have to nurture that early, because if Will Smith didn't adamantly, go after his dream, because like I said, I don't know if he had a scholarship or whatever, but anyway, he had no scholarship. But like I said, his mom was like, yo, you going to college, that's just what it is. That's the route. But if he didn't take a, leap of faith and go after his dream, like that lane probably never would have got filled. Never would have got filled, because he was the only one really in it, and probably still the only one that is labeled like the kind of the clean rapper, and then the whole Fresh Prince and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we look around the 4 squares here, and 3 of y'all are doing the same thing, man. So we got to give kudos and respect to y'all hustles. Yeah, we start with T-Rail, business coach, entrepreneur, franchisee extraordinaire, B. Hicks, real estate guru. You know what I'm saying? This boy ain't gonna tell you how much money in his pocket right now. But
I got on my pajama pants, baby. I ain't got nothing.
I mean, we talking about rental, flipping, Airbnb, exploring new paths there, and then Jay leaving corporate America and starting his own business with financial literacy. I mean, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's start with Jay. I mean, Jay, in terms of like financial literacy, let's just start there, because I know stocks is your game. If you had to give the people a stock of the day, it's Friday.
Look at him checking. Like, hold on, let me
look. He been checking the stocks
right now.
Let me pull up my charts.
What would be your stock of the day for the people? Like, if I had $500, what I need to do? Where I need to park that?
Okay. Well, since you said 500, I'm not going to tell you that one then.
Well, hey, it could be. I don't want to set the parameters. You let me know.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna say about looking at the charts right now, Tesla. And the reason I say Tesla just had earnings yesterday, and they smacked them out the park. But the market is being manipulated, and it's dropped, and it's sitting at 830. And it's sitting at a point where it really. It's sitting at a good spot right now. So I'm saying Tesla all day, because the market is just slamming it down, and this is the opportunity to get it. Plus, like I said, and I just made a video about it the other day. Like, people, when stocks go down, like, people usually get scared, or they get weak hands and they sell it. But the company doesn't change. Like, the company, like Tesla is still selling electrical vehicles. Elon Musk is still the CEO. The demand of Teslas is still up. They're still on back order. You see what I'm saying? So, like, the company, the fundamentals, the financials have not changed. And people need to understand that the company and the actual stock price doesn't always mimic each other. So you need to understand that you need to take advantage of certain opportunities when they look like this, and Tesla is definitely that one right now.
So if I'm a first timer, I don't know what I'm doing. What's like the first step?
Go to workwithjnow.com.
There it is.
We can solve all them problems. We can solve all them problems. I promise you.
Word up.
I promise you. Well,
Tell the people.
This segment is sponsored by.
This segment is sponsored by Stock Investing 101.
There it is. Workwithj.com.
Yeah, workwithjnow.com.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
There we go.
Work with them.
But the first step, if you knew, you just need to open up a brokerage account, and that's the first step. Open up a brokerage account, and then just go ahead and test the waters. Invest in what you know. Don't invest in nothing that you don't know. So you got stuff in your household that are publicly traded companies that you consume every single day.
Like them J's.
Yeah, like them J's you rocking,
like them Apple phones,
them Apple phones, like that Dawn dish detergent that you washing your dishes with, or Cascade, or Lysol. You see what I'm saying? So just do the research and jump in there, son. It'd be well worth your while. But of course, if you want to take it to the next level, workwithjnow.com.
Let's do it, people. And he just gave you a stock tip of the day. So I'm gonna need you to go buy the Tesla, then holler at Jay to figure out to do with your money.
and he dropping jewels every day online. I'm gonna drop your Instagram.
Yeah. That's
follow him on IG,
as
on
well
Facebook.
as Facebook. Jamari Norris. Yeah. Jamari Norris. Yeah, we can make it happen. JamariNorris.com if you want to go to the website. You know what I'm saying? If you need to if you need to get the book, you know what I'm saying? Healthy Wealth 101
and Wealth.
Healthy Wealth 101. And that's just the financial literacy board, the stuff that you was never taught. So it's great for high school students and anybody else beyond that.
Word up. All right. Well, keep it in that same spirit, because we got another author on the mic, T-Rel.
Yes, sir.
Business coach. All right. So if I got some of his money, I don't talk to Jay. I got some of his money in my pocket. I want to start a business. Is that a good idea? Should I start a business?
No. Oh, absolutely not.
Hey, man. I want to start a pizza spot. Come on, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, why do franchises fail? If they get into the game, what's one of the main reasons franchises do fail?
To me, it's about understanding the expectations of a business, right? People are very gung-ho. Like you said, you got some money, you just had a big win, or you just retired, or whatever happened. You think that this is the safe route to go. But I would tell you that, hey, before you start a restaurant, there's way easier ways to make money. I
don't know. I've been in Subway. I'd be like, man, I can make a sandwich.
It's not for the faint of heart, but businesses fail because they have not educated themselves on the cost of doing business. I think there's this expectation that you're gonna make money from day one, right? And that's usually not the case. There's an upfront investment, not just financially, but in time and in understanding. You got to learn the game that you're jumping into. And while some folks, hit a home run right out of the park, right out of the gate, that's not common. 6 out of 10 restaurants fail in the first year, 8 out of 10 in the first 5 years.
Yeah. Wow. Everybody can't be Pinky Cole, baby. Everybody can't be Pinky Cole, baby.
Only Pinky Cole is Pinky Cole. You know what I mean? So you got to understand what you're doing out here, or you are.
Bro, did you say 6 out of 10
in the first year? You literally have better odds at a crap table.
That's why all the favorite barbecue spots shut down, because.
And just so you know, Pinky Cole is that's a Slutty Vegan.
Slutty Vegan, incredible brand,
and niche market too. Doing something different.
She hit a home run, but she understood the game. From a different perspective. She's a marketing genius, and she had a product that people just love. People stand outside for hours to get this stuff. Wait for it.
Yeah, kind of like we got the turkey leg hut here in Houston.
Yeah,
kind of the similar, different cuisine, but same concept. People around the block for them turkey legs.
Yeah. So number one, people fail just because financially they're not ready for what it takes to actually operate a business without making money. You need to be able to do that for a while, and then secondly, poor operations. Not every cook shouldn't be a restaurant owner. Every idea isn't a great idea for the marketplace. And then thirdly is, they don't have the people to do it. You're not making that investment in people. So you're the inability to grow from that point, you can't do it all. One guy can't run the whole restaurant or can't run the entire business normally. So if you're not investing,
so let me ask you this:
development, you're gonna be behind.
Is it about the chicken that I'm selling, or is it about the people?
It's always about the people. The chickens in Houston ain't no different than the chickens over here.
I don't know. I got some Bruce on the chicken.
You ain't got no Bruce. Don't do
that. We're gonna be on the podcast a whole nother hour trying to figure out why Corey ain't got his Bruce yet.
That's a limited series right there.
I'll provide the tracking number, bro, after this.
Right. It ain't even in the box yet.
Yo, why y'all trying to do this, man? We having a good gospel time right now.
I thought he brought it to Miami. No, I thought you grabbed it when you was in. No.
I don't know what it tastes like. All right, man. Back to the people, man. How do you keep the people motivated, man?
You keep people motivated by giving them what they're really looking for. People want the opportunity to be developed, in ways that help them in their own lives and in the business. They want to understand how doing this job is going to help me. You remember going to school, like, how is A times B minus 7 going to help me in life? You always asking that, like, why are we even doing this? How is this going to help me in my life? And it ain't no different when you're working on a team or when you're trying to develop, especially young people. They want to know how doing this job is going to help me do whatever it is I want to do, whether they want to be doctors, lawyers, influencers, real estate investors, or whatever. They want to know how that's going to help them. Secondly, you want to make you keep people by paying them right, treating them right, and including them in the process. They want to be part of the business. They don't want to work for the business. They want to be a part of the community of the business.
Word up. Y'all heard that. Building leaders is his thing. Tyrell Reed, franchise owner, executive,
how can they work
and
with you?
Coach. How can they work
with you?
Get at you.
You can get at me, TyrellReed.com. Let me throw it up there.
Yeah, go and throw it up. There we
Throw it
go.
up there.
You can get me at TyrellReed.com.
Tyrell
Obviously, we offer a coaching program, a mentorship program. We help people, execute the basics, really avoid some of the pitfalls that in the lessons, by learning the lessons that I learned throughout my career. I've been doing this for 20 years. So look, most folks don't make it past a year. A lot of them don't make it past 5. I've been doing it for 20, but that's not all wins. That's wins and losses. So I can show you the mistakes I made and help somebody try to avoid those. So we work with business owners. We develop leaders that really take those folks and develop them to the next level. So I build leaders that build businesses.
I like it.
T-shirt, boy.
I tell you.
That's a slogan right there. You know what I'm saying?
Follow me at Tyrell Reed Sr.
And that boy's everywhere. He's on IG, he's on Facebook, he TikToking, Snapchatting, it don't stop.
Content creator.
Yes,
Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's turn this corner. You know what I'm saying? Go down to the guru of real estate, Mr. Bruce Roberts Hicks.
What's going on?
Bruce. Yo. Look, I done talked to Jay. I got my chips up. I got my cash flow coming in from the chicken now. Got my Bruce on the chicken, so everybody buying the chicken. Now I'm looking for another way to build my portfolio. And I want to get into real estate. Do I go commercial? Do I go single family home? Like, what's my first step as an invest? I want to invest in real estate. Like, what do I do? Do I go rental? Do I flip? What are your thoughts there?
Sure. So, I guess you want to start with your goals, right? Because if you get in this thing just to make money, it's going to be like putting on 2 left shoes. It's not going to fit, right? It's just
You
not.
sound like you did that before.
Oh, but that's why I bought bow leg and pigeon toe right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm knocking
That
even
boy
there.
fast. He got 2 lefts on. He fast though.
Yeah. Just running in circles. That's what happens when you wear 2 left shoes. You just run in circles, bro. Can't go straight.
Word up.
So you want to find out what your goals are, right? Some people's goals, for example, mine, we were talking about state of Michigan early. Mine was quitting my job, right? So I needed to earn enough money to leave corporate America or state of Michigan, whichever you prefer. So that's going to be, Pentacle and trying to figure out what to do next, right? And then you want to understand the different facets, right? Because you have purchasing, you have wholesaling, you have, real estate is multifaceted. So you want to find out the lane in which you want to operate. A lot of people think, landlords are uber rich. Well, nah, son. Nah, right? You got 2 landlords on here right now. And one landlord last week had what we call the Landlord Chronicles going on, right?
We had to get on that in the next episode.
Yeah, we definitely gonna touch on the Landlord Chronicles.
Coming to you
live and in person. So, you want to look at that. And then, lastly, you want to look at your exit strategy. Just like even in stocks, just like even in restaurants and, stocks, am I going to hold this thing forever? Is this an option play? Am I going to be in this for 3 to 6 months? restaurant? Am I trying to go ahead and pass this on to my children? Or is this just going to be for me? And then once it's done, it's over. So, those are the 3 things that you really want to look at when you start looking into real estate. Then that'll help you avoid a lot of the early pitfalls that come with it. By researching and really knowing what real estate can do for you, that's going to save you tens, probably even hundreds of thousands of dollars, because now you have a roadmap. All right. You need a roadmap.
Mm-hmm. Word up. Let me ask you this though, just like specifically, like if I got the money I want to buy, would you recommend rental for a first time, investor, or a flip? Like, is there a pro and con? Is there a bad way? I know you got your goals set, but if I'm putting my toe in the water, what would be your recommendation around that, entering the investments?
That's a very good question, man, and it's quite loaded, right? Because it's complicated. So, there's, man, yeah, we're gonna definitely have to do part 2 on this, right? Because so let's say you come in and you say, okay, I got 50 stacks, right? What can I get for 50 stacks? Okay, Word. So we identify, and then we break down, okay, this is what the responsibilities of a landlord looks like. Oh no, I don't want that. This is what the responsibilities of a flip.
Well, let's do it like that. Let me rephrase it. What are the pros and cons of rental? And then we could talk about pros and cons with flipping. And then people can make their own decisions.
The cons, I always like to start with the cons, right? The cons are you're at constant beck and call of someone else. Right?
Landlord Chronicles.
Landlord Chronicles.
And we need doorknobs.
We need doorknobs, Jay.
No, we need doorknobs on a door that's not even attached to the house. It's here.
Wow.
It's here, but give me 1 second, fella.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think he'll come back on, but like you said, you definitely at the beck and call. Go ahead. He's back.
Yeah. Appreciate that. So you at the beck and call, of the tenant. You know what I mean? And that eats money, right? The pros is, if you set this thing up right, you have the tax write-offs, you have the advantages there, you have unlimited earning potential. That's huge. So that's the beauty of the rental side. On the flip side, it's great because your earnings are in this market unlimited, right? One of the companies I own is called Unlimited Potential, and that's what I have. So I buy it and I run my numbers and I think I'm good to go. And when we finish, we just picked up another 10 or 15K in equity. So now we're set aside this for 150. We're at 160, 165. So, it's really, it's really open to whatever the person wants to do. I got to switch over to,
there it is.
Yeah. So for someone just starting out and you don't have a lot of capital, getting a rental is probably not going to be the best way to go, in my opinion. If I had to start all over again, I would start out with a flip, right? Because put 50 into it, you sell it for, let's say 100. Well, now you got 100K. With a rental, you're trying to recapture your cost. You're trying to recapture your loss. You're trying to keep your, what do you want to call that? Your overhead down, which ultimately eats at your gains. So, yeah. And just like, my other brothers that are on here right now, I'm building a coaching program to help alleviate a lot of the stresses that come along.
How do people get with you, son? I can't find you.
You got to text me, baby.
It's
working that out. It's on the way.
It's on the way.
Yep.
Shine the game, man. When the content hit, y'all gonna be ready for it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's gonna be great, man. Just like my other brothers, we're here to solve the problem that just people have, right? And
on everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do for y'all. So don't forget me, right? When I get my Instagram, don't forget me. It's coming, baby. It's coming.
Word up. Looking forward to it, man. I know you're gonna do great things. Jay's off to a great start. T-Rail's killing the game, and B-Hicks gonna be doing the same thing. So look for us out there. We all on IG, Facebook. The podcast is on the way, and we doing it, man. Jay, take us out with that quote, baby.
No doubt, man. Well, look, definitely appreciate y'all tuning in. It's your boy Jay Norris, B-Hicks, T-Rail, C Nick. And we're here to get everything that you need and nothing that you don't. And that's on everything.
Everything.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
Yes, sir. Peace.